Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Fruitful Fridays this morning. Thank you for joining. If you're here, let me know. And I love to see you. I love any hearts or likes. And I hope you're starting out with a good morning this morning. If not, well, you are in the right place. It's a little dreary here in Florida this morning. But not for you, not for you. You're going to have an awesome day today. So I'm Karen Treaster, and we're going to get started with our topic soon, which is you are enough. And I'm going to talk about 3 behaviors which are going to encourage that. And I don't know about you, but I struggled with that for a long, long time, and I think it's always a work in progress. I really do, because you don't always wake up with that feeling. And when you practice these things, though, it's like a muscle. It becomes you, and you feel it, and it's so much easier. And what a feeling when you know you're enough. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, we are going to just reflect, because I know you've had a week where you were fruitful. Something you did made you feel really good. And I just want you to reflect on that. Think about that. What was that? Give yourself a pat on the back and celebrate. And if you want to put it in the comments, go ahead. Again, if you're here, let me know. So it's all about feeling good, and you deserve to have the best feeling ever. And so a lot of times we have to think back on what we did, because boy, we forget if we don't write them down, and just bring evidence to yourself. All right, so with that, before we get started with You Are Enough, for those who don't know me, I'm Karen Treaster, and I'm a mindset coach. I work with divorced women to get whole and thrive. I work with women to go from that place where they're feeling that they're not enough. I went from brokenness to a place where I am confident and feel joy and peace and success, because that just follows when you have this good feeling. So my company is neversettlelifecoaching.com. All righty, so with that, we're going to get started into the topic, which is you are enough. And oh my gosh, like I said, I sure never felt like that. And I know a lot of people that I work with and a lot of people that I talk to feel that as well. And so if this is resonating with you, you are definitely in the right spot. And a lot of people may be judging themselves by comparing themselves. I know I did that, and feeling insecure. And you may be constantly trying to please others. And boy, what a toll that takes on your relationship too, when you're trying to do that. And your decisions aren't for your best interest, and they don't serve you. And over time, that again can really, really take a toll on you. And that was me. So you can imagine what it would be like if over the years how this builds up. But there's good news, because by concentrating on these behaviors that I'm going to talk about, you can train yourself to really love yourself again, and to feel good about yourself. So, because it's such a burden, isn't it? Don't you find that? Like stress. We talk, can we talk stress here? Like many of us know, America has the highest rate, and that was a Gallup poll that was done, of stress. Oh my gosh. And when you're not feeling like you're good enough, that I think is the core of a lot of stress that we may have. And when we're always constantly looking for approval from other people, we have this doubt. It's an internal doubt, and it's really a portrayal to us. And because we're not doing what we want to from our highest good, for our highest good. And this is a contributor, big contributor to stress. And stress, if you're not sleeping well, some of the signs, if you're not sleeping well, if you're eating poorly, or you've got mood swings or frequent illness, your immune system, I mean, stress is huge on your immune system, and just feeling overwhelmed. I mean, these are all things that, again, I think the core of it, it's not all of it, because we obviously have things that stress us out, but the core is when you feel enough, you can really handle this. So, oh, and another fact I want to mention is, and I'm not going to talk about it, but 70% of teenagers feel like they're not enough. Wow. And there's a lot of contributing factors to that, of course, and Facebook and everything like that. That's the core. That's the core, to feel enough. So let's go over the 3 behaviors. And again, if you're here, please say hi. Let's go over the 3 behaviors to encourage the feeling you are enough, because you know deep down inside, or maybe you don't. And I'm telling you, you are enough. So let's go over those 3 behaviors. And number 1 is be brave in your thinking. Being brave enough to know that sometimes just showing up places, because that's a hard one for a lot of people, and we don't show up, and because we don't think we're enough, we don't think that we're okay. And the thing is, you don't need to impress people. It's just more about that showing up. It's more about caring. It's more about having a good attitude. And you can be brave enough. You can be brave enough to be more honest. And you can be brave enough to be more vulnerable. And you can be brave enough to be more purposeful and in your actions, in whatever actions that you take. And whether you're in, gosh, you may be in transition, a new job, or you may have new relationships or a new project, and it could be at work, it could be at home, whatever you're going through, it all starts with brave thinking. And I know a lot of you know this. It's just, and it's a reminder for a lot of people. When you change your mindset, it's about training your brain. When you change your mindset around this, you realize, you find evidence, like we did in the beginning, looking for how you felt good this week. Your mind, that reticular activation happens, and you're going to find things that you realize about yourself, that you can do it. When you have that thinking, when you have that brave thinking, you're going to think, yes, you can. Yes, you can do it. And you're going to adapt that I am good enough. It's going to bring that good enough feeling to you, that attitude. Because here's the thing, we all have messy stuff that we have to deal with. And that can bring us down. And it's about finding your good vibration. And because we don't always have it. But with that good vibration, you are going to get to that place where you feel good enough. And when you feel like that, you can do anything. So we all have this messy stuff, and honestly, we have to deal with it somehow and just move on. And I realize it's easier said than done sometimes. And it starts with that core feeling. And when be brave enough, and because you are enough, and you always were enough, and you still are enough. It's just finding that. It's just knowing that. It's bringing that out in yourself. And so having the courage, it just starts with that brave feeling, having that courage to believe this. And when the world sometimes, I realize, is telling us so often otherwise. And the key to peace of mind is finding and knowing that you are enough. And this is huge. So that's the first one. Be brave with your thinking. And number 2, don't let outside, this kind of leads into that, is don't let outside circumstances control you. Because when we investigate, when we start looking at a different perspective, when we go within, and the need for judgment and blame of others and of ourselves, and it doesn't, that need, we don't have that need for that judgment and that blame when we go within ourselves, and we find that place where we can make these decisions, and these decisions are made from our highest good, and we're not influenced by all that outside stuff. So that's really the key. And again, easier said than done. But the more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you're going to go with your true being of what you really want and who you really are. So, and when you do this, you're going to know yourself better. You're going to know your boundaries. You're going to know your limitations and what makes you happy. And most importantly is you'll know that anything that happens, it's okay. Because stuff happens. And because you're in this peace of mind, when you have this peace of mind, you can handle everything. And you're going to love yourself. You're going to like yourself first. And you learn to love yourself. And when you feel like this, anything that comes along, it doesn't matter. You can naturally handle better. Anything that comes along. And again, I'm not saying that that's easy, and it takes work, and it's about your mindset is key to not letting those negative thoughts take over, which they like to do, as you know. Choo, 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 choo. And so when you're not letting the drama of the outside world, and it is a drama, then you're always going to feel good enough. You're always going to feel good enough. So that's the second one, is not letting the outside circumstances in, not letting them in, and being the decider factor of your decisions. So that's huge. So that's number 2. And then for number 3 is you are like no one else. You're like no one else. Hallelujah. Isn't it true? Nobody's like you. Nobody can duplicate you. And I love the quote from Dr. Seuss, and a lot of you know this already. Today, and really feel this, today you are you. That is truer than true. There's no one alive that is youer than you. And oh my gosh, just that feeling alone, like how incredible is that? When you can figure out who you really are, what your strengths are, your unique qualities, and really utilize those, who in the heck is your competition, right? Am I right? Anybody listening? Am I right about that? Who is your competition? You don't have any. No matter if we all do the same thing, we're all different. And once you know this, it will be so much easier to love yourself and to know that you are enough. You already are enough. You already are. And I work with this with my clients because this is really the core of everything, knowing that. Think about who you would be. Byron Katie says that a lot. Who would you be with this feeling every single day that you are enough? And I love this quote. I'm not sure, it was from an article. And it says, being enough doesn't mean you have to do everything yourself, because we can't do that. We can't be totally independent. That you don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that you're flawless. You're enough, broken the way you are, and beautiful the way you are. And just showing up in life is all any of us can strive to do. That's all we can do. So know in your heart that you are enough. And this is going to relieve so much stress. It really does. When I knew that, I know that everything's going to be okay. And that comes from faith too, that you know it's all going to work out. And these are just little bumps in the road. And again, I know it's easier said than done. However, it's worth pursuing because that is what life is about, finding joy, finding peace. And again, who the heck could you be? So these 3 behaviors, again, number 1, be brave in your thinking. Number 2, don't let outside circumstances control you. And you are like no one else. So if we could wake up every single morning and make it count, going out in the day knowing that you're enough, oh my gosh, when you feel enough, you have gratitude. And when you have gratitude and feeling grateful, you're not feeling sadness. You're not feeling depression. And think about if we were like this every single day. If you're not enough, you already, if you don't feel like you're not enough, know you are. And know that in your heart, it's just a matter of bringing that out, and know that you are unique. Know that you can go out, you can show up, you can be brave and slay this day to day. And if you like what you hear, please share this with others, because I know people need to hear this. And I do work with women. I work with a lot of divorced women. My website is neversettlelifecoaching.com. I've got a program called Elevate, which I'm going to take you from that brokenness, take you through those steps to get whole and thrive, and use this to go out and be amazing, be incredible. And that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for. So I appreciate you all being here. And if you're listening to the replay, that's great. I love that. Give me some hearts, give me some likes. And you are amazing. Have a fabulous Friday. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a fabulous weekend and a very fruitful week, everybody. And I'll be back next Friday with more tips and inspiration. And if you would like to PM me, please feel free if you've got any questions. And I do give free consultations. So don't hesitate. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye bye.